The following is a presentation of the Nerd Complex Podcast Network.
You are listening to Audio Suplex Live. Big shout out to Travis for making sure I have my glasses on.
Hey, we got to keep the illusion real.
Exactly.
We're the keepers of the fabe.
I mean, I am the most handsome man on the show, and he just wants to knock me down a couple pegs by covering up my pretty brown eyes.
By a very, very, very narrow margin.
It's the hat.
It's the hat.
Is it the hat?
It's the hat.
It's the hat.
He's a good-looking dude.
I get told the hat's got to go.
Why?
I don't know, because I've been wearing it every day for the last 5 years.
It's. I don't think the hat's got to go. I just think that specific hat has got to go. Let's get some variety in
It's
here.
hard
Let's
to get a
switch
good
it up.
hat.
I
have a big head.
Agree with that.
I got a lot of hair too.
I wish I could pull the hat off. I've had like one photo where I'm like, I got my glasses on, the hat on. I'm like, all right, I'm feeling myself. All right, cool.
Right.
No.
The problem is getting a hat that fits your head.
Yeah.
You know, I've had plenty of hats that I was like, oh, this is sweet. And I put it on. I'm like, my head's too big.
Yeah.
Just got to find
You got to
the right
break
one.
it in. You got to like stretch
This one
it out
is
a little
stretched
bit.
out. This is a huge hat right now.
I used to be a big proponent of the beanie look as well. I would get a new beanie and I would like sit there and just like stretch it out.
Put it on a basketball for a week.
Yes, there you go. So,
because that's about the same size as your head.
welcome everybody to Audio Suplex Live, episode 29.
Is it 29?
It is episode 29.
I thought we didn't count pre-show shows as shows.
This is the new era of Audio Suplex Live since moving to Sundays, and you know this. You're just doing this to rub it in, you jerk.
Well, I was going to get my way eventually.
Yeah, well, this is a very, 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 very special episode this week. We are going to be breaking. What?
Nothing.
You want to take this?
It's a very special week.
It's a very special episode week. It's because it's SummerSlam week. Woo! Joe, do we have the celebration drop?
Celebration.
Because it's SummerSlam week.
Nope, sorry.
Yeah.
It's a celebration.
Break good times. Come on.
I have a funny story about the song that I'm going to have to tell you about later tonight.
Excellent. So yeah, we got SummerSlam that we're going to break down all 13 matches. Some of these we might fly through but a lot of them are. It's a solid card, top to bottom.
I would say it's fairly solid.
Yeah,
I would get rid of maybe 1 or 2 or 5 of those matches.
1, 2, or 5.
So we are joined by a very special group of pro wrestling.
A
cavalcade of pro wrestling pundits. As always, the pre-show stopper himself, Shawn McMahon, no relation. Shawn, how are you doing?
Doing good. A little upset over certain things that happened, recently in the WWE, but I'll touch on that later on in the show.
Never short for words, Shawn. I love it. And joining us, as always, you probably remember from a couple weeks ago.
As always.
The man, Robert Lopez.
Yes, sir.
How are you doing, buddy?
Good. Tired.
Good. Yeah, you had a huge outing yesterday with NOW. You guys had a show at Keeper Fest here in Toledo.
Yep.
How'd that go?
It went good.
Yeah.
It was hot. It was outdoors, so that ring canvas got really hot.
I was gonna tell you before we went on air that you have a nice like golden sheen to you today, like an Adonis. But you got a little sun yesterday. Got out in the sun and wrestled a little bit.
It makes up for being half Mexican and not having a tan at all.
Trying to even it out.
Yeah. You got to get a base coat first. Get the base coat and then you're good. So
maybe if I spray tan.
you should.
You should.
You should.
You should.
Yeah. So we'll get into SummerSlam in a little bit here. We're going to start the show off, though, by talking a little bit about last night's NXT Takeover Brooklyn 3, with apologies to Shawn McMahon.
I was going to say, should I leave the room?
Unless you want spoilers,
it's up to
man.
you,
But
my friend.
I feel like it's a 12-hour window, so we're...
After 12 hours, it's kind of on you to watch it or you don't, or it gets ruined.
As an avid Game of Thrones fan, like, trust me, my life is, if I'm not able to watch Game of Thrones when it's on at 9 p.m., my life for like the next, until I watch the episode, is like no social media whatsoever. I can't touch Twitter. I can't touch Facebook. Nothing.
I'm probably going to get kicked out of the room.
No,
I haven't watched Game of
I'm
Thrones
the only
this season
one.
yet.
I think I'm the only one. Corey doesn't watch it at all.
I don't like that show, so
I haven't watched
Send
an
me the
episode
hate
either.
mail.
And Me and Joe are going to power watch it eventually whenever he gets the DVDs.
Oh, there's actually sitting right up there.
Yeah,
oh, really?
We got the entire
Blu-ray?
like 1 through 6 season Blu-ray.
So we got to get on that then.
Oh yeah.
It's a fantastic show, but you know how that is. Like if you don't watch it, it's spoiled, and then you're upset for the whole rest of the day. So, Brooklyn 3. What did you guys?
Well,
think?
hold on, real quick. If you're listening at home, and you have not watched Brooklyn 3.
Oh,
you don't-
yes.
Just skip ahead, 2 minutes.
Or if you're like listening
whatever.
live, go fix a sandwich. Go hang out.
It's a good time to fix a sandwich.
Go get a base tan. Go sit out in the sun for a couple minutes. So
Yeah.
So Brooklyn 3. We had 2 title changes last night.
Now was it the 2 that
Surprising.
you would most likely think that would happen?
No, I predicted. We didn't do actually any proper
Well-
picks, but I predicted.
Well,
2,
how many belts do they have?
Three.
I
down
got
there?
3.
So the
I
one
thought
that
2 of the
be
3 would
women.
change, but I thought the one of them that would have been the women's title. I
Yep.
thought the NXT title was going to stay on Bobby Roode.
Really?
Yeah.
So I thought the tag titles. Would
I
be
thought-
the
I
least
thought
likely to change.
I knew
Because I thought Sandy's coming up tomorrow.
really.
That's what I thought.
You thought they were going to be on Raw
SmackDown.
tomorrow? SmackDown.
They're the
tomorrow?
ones
On Tuesday?
causing the mayhem. Maybe they'll lose the belts right away on NXT this week.
Well,
Because it's 2 weeks until we find out what happened with, to the next installment of the Fashion Files.
there's a really good chance they're not going to have the belts very long because they no quicker won the belts than a reformed in NXT. They're not calling them Red Dragon, but Red Dragon basically reformed in NXT shortly thereafter with Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly coming out and basically just destroying everybody, which was so sick.
So explain this to me. They're called Red Dragon. Why is their name spelled Re-Dragon?
I'm actually not entirely sure of that.
There's only one D in there. And
know-
they capitalize the D and the R.
Maybe because they have the D in the middle as like a
But the D and the R are capitalized if I'm not mistaken, which I don't understand that at
I don't
all.
know.
But
I know it was Bobby Fischer's idea.
yeah.
Like they did a sit down interview.
he's like, I never learned how to spell words, but I know how to wrestle.
I'm gonna research that one because I'm actually genuinely curious because I've always wondered that myself, like looking at the name, like why it's like spelled like that. But,
Yeah.
But so basically, they reformed in the ring after making each of their individual NXT debuts, which I know there's a lot of like conjecture on whether or not they were going to be like a tag team in NXT or whether or not they were going to be like singles or
They put that doubt.
There
Yeah.
we go.
Gone.
yeah. So which was good. It was good to see another tag team because I think NXT definitely needs tag teams right now, especially ones with the pedigree that they have. Former
Right.
IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, former
Ring
ROH
of Honor, yep.
ROH Tag Team Champions. As much as I love your Heavy Machineries and your Street Profits and stuff like that, they're developmental teams. Like they're still
Learning the
yeah,
ropes.
Yeah. So, good. I
So
like that.
overall, that was good. Surprising
yeah,
on all fronts.
yeah.
Hellacious match.
Yeah, so that was really good. The tag team match was really good. All the matches were pretty solid up and down the card. Gargano versus Almas was incredibly good.
I don't like Elmas.
You're not a big Almas guy?
He's going to lose, and I think it's
See-
good that he has a manager now.
I try to invest in Almas just because I don't necessarily dislike him. I don't necessarily love him. But it's like every time that's like, okay, they try to push him. All right, now this guy's coming in and making his debut. We're going to put Almas against him and have his head kicked off, basically. And as a fan, I'm like, okay, I can see why this guy works as a heel, but if you want me to invest in him,
He's a party boy.
give me something a little more than what you're giving me with him.
Right. And that's like he's an example of somebody who had like a really good like thing going for him before he came to WWE when he was in CMLL and everything like that, being the leader and the founder of Los Ingobernables. But like he got there and everybody was like, okay, cool, like this is awesome, let's go, like he's going to do really cool things. And then I think they just kind of like stalled out and like what to do with him. So
Should've never
it
took
was
his mask
interesting.
off.
I was listening to a show on Sirius, and they were kind of debating the whole, is it better? Because they were talking about the possibility of the Authors of Pain or Sanity coming up to the main roster, and that whole question debated, well, is it a good thing to be on the main roster or keep your position in NXT because WWE, once you get up there, just doesn't know what to do with you?
3 or 4 years ago, I would have said come up to the main roster as soon as you can, because not only from like a exposure level, that gives you much more exposure because you're on TV every week. You know, not everybody who watches Raw and SmackDown has a WWE network, so that's going to be more people who are going to become aware of you. And you also, they wouldn't, I'm not entirely sure, but when you do come up to the main roster, they renegotiate your contract and you get a much better payday being on the main roster. I would have agreed that, yeah, come up to the main roster as soon as they say yes. I mean, not that they really have much say in where they go anyway, but now that NXT is like pretty much like as big a brand as the other two, I don't know, man, because I would say honestly, being the NXT champion holds the same level of prestige as some of your undercard titles, some of your
and the way
IC
too
titles
that they're breaking up tag teams on SmackDown and Raw.
Yeah,
you know,
I think it's harder too. Like, you take the Ascension for example. They got the SmackDown, and it was like they're here.
They got buried on their first night.
Yeah, they got buried on their first night
on the main roster.
After a dominance in NXT.
Yeah,
That's why I'm afraid if Authors of Pain go up.
I think they look a little bit more dominant.
The problem I think we're running into as well, and this has already been talked about numerous times, is that the audience of NXT is much different than the audience of the main roster.
Yeah.
So,
I think we talked about it before too. Some certain gimmicks work better in smaller scales than they do in, like, the best example of that was the Vaudevillains.
Yeah,
that worked better in NXT because it was a smaller audience.
Well, and the NXT audience is like more, generally speaking, in tune to like crazier stuff like that.
And then I feel like once they got to the main roster and they tried to translate that gimmick into bigger arenas, they just kind of got lost.
Yeah. Real quick, do you want to touch on the NXT title match and the falling outs of that match? So, fantastic match.
Yeah.
Really good. I think it was probably my favorite Bobby Roode takeover match to date.
I think he's really had that many great matches.
It was definitely better than his matches with Nakamura.
I wasn't a fan of the end.
And I liked it better than his match with Hideo Itami.
Yeah.
I think, but I think he and McIntyre have a style that kind of meshes well together. So I think they were able to kind of like, Bobby Roode kind of relies on that old school mentality. He's not very flashy. He doesn't have a lot of high spots or anything like that. So I think somebody like a McIntyre works really well with that style. McIntyre goes over.
Yep.
We have a new NXT champion. But then the fallout of that is,
man, how different did this card change in, just this last week with, the signing of
Adam Cole, baby.
Adam Cole, baby. Comes out, dude.
Attacks McIntyre.
With the Red Dragon.
And aligns himself with Fish and
with O'Reilly.
Which,
from their last rivalry, you wouldn't expect.
Right. Like, so you basically have what's already starting to look like another faction starting up in NXT
to replace maybe one.
I don't think it's going to replace Sanity, dude.
And is Sanity? Are they faces?
Sanity.
They beat the heel champs, and they got attacked by a heel tag team.
Sanity doesn't, I think, fit in the traditional heel phase.
I feel like they used to be mega heel. They would attack everybody. They would cheat. I think at this takeover they played. They didn't. I guess
they definitely played. They definitely played babyface in this match. They kind of
cheated.
Night.
Big Damo did put Akeem through a table while he was holding
Nikki Cross.
Nikki Cross, which is an insane spot, by the way.
And Killian Dane wasn't in the match, so that is cheating. But
what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do?
You're gonna put the tag titles on Sanity, and
I think Takeover was amazing. They did.
It was good.
They blew me. They always. Especially lately, it feels like the card going into it seems kind of weak, but it always is an amazing card and ends up being,
they always
something
over-deliver.
worth watching for sure. They definitely do a good job every time. I don't think I've ever been disappointed.
Match of the night on Takeover.
Probably the Bobby Roode, Drew McIntyre. Although the tag match was really good too. I don't know.
Tag match was incredible.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Oh, Aleister Black.
Yeah, Aleister Black and
Black and Itami.
44 kicks.
Yeah, you counted
44.
44 kicks.
Yeah.
That match was brutal.
That one that ended it, the Black Mass, was
beautiful,
insane,
sick.
Tommy sold it like $1 million.
Oh yeah, no,
he was out.
Those two are like the perfect for each other. Like they're really good for each other. So, Hideo Itami coming up soon. I don't know, man.
Maybe
they got to do something with them.
Maybe he'll do better on the main card. He hasn't been lucky in NXT.
I'm just saying 205 Live because you use a guy like that. Somebody who can kick people in the head.
That.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's Takeover Brooklyn 3. Those are our thoughts. Very, 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 very solid show. Triple H even came out this past week and said that Brooklyn Takeover has basically become NXT's WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Like, that's their biggest show of the year. That's, like, where they get to come out and show out and just do their big thing. Because, like, their WrestleMania show, you're never going to, like...
come close to
You're never going to come close to topping WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So, like, Brooklyn has become, like, the gold standard for what NXT's year is. So, I like it. I'm into it. So...
And they're coming back next year, right?
Yes, they are. I believe they've
already announced. Yeah, they already announced that they're coming back for like the Brooklyn next year.
Yeah, I would like even to see if like maybe like what would be super funny is how. So NXT's big takeover shows are always in the same town as the big pay per view that's the main roster's doing on Sunday night. What if next year SummerSlam moves, or like in a couple of years SummerSlam moves to another location, but NXT stays in Brooklyn?
I doubt it.
Like they just do Barclays every year.
I think Barclays the centerfold of
SummerSlam. They should really just make that like the SummerSlam venue.
4 years in a row?
Yeah, this will be the fourth year.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
They were in LA for a couple of years before that. SummerSlam used to be in LA.
Yeah.
You think SummerSlam, you don't necessarily... Summer doesn't scream New York City to me. More like LA would be like beaches and stuff.
Right.
Miami is beaches. I think SummerSlam should be in one of those places.
I like the idea of SummerSlam staying in one city every year, and then Mania moving around, and the other big pay-per-views moving every year. Yeah, but SummerSlam can be like New York City's like big party every year. So
that would be cool.
Yeah,
I think
we
they're
should
going to
go next year.
We should. I tried to get you to go this. I almost talked you into going to NXT Takeover.
Yeah, we were this close.
We should go to WrestleMania.
We really should.
We absolutely should.
Do you want to take me to New Orleans?
We're getting 2 cars and going. Already, so
you could probably fly there for pretty cheap. Probably not that weekend though.
We're driving.
Yeah,
I've flown to New Orleans for like $35.
We could
what?
Yeah,
we could hate you.
Go.
I fly a lot for cheap.
Well, we'll figure it out, man. We'll take a look at it. Audio Suplex Live doing big things. So
Wrestling Mania. Yeah, we'll see how much it costs.
All right. So, I want to hit the Wayback Machine. Go back a couple weeks ago to about 2 months ago, actually, to episode 18. If you guys recall correctly, Corey and I endeavored foolishly, I may add.
A whole episode devoted to
an entire episode dedicated to... So what had happened was WrestleMania was over, and each brand had at least one brand-specific pay-per-view. I believe it was Payback and Backlash after WrestleMania. So we did an entire episode, if you guys remember, where Corey and I decided to, okay, cool. We have WrestleMania in the book, and we have 2 brand-specific pay-per-views in the book. Let's try to predict what we think the SummerSlam card is going to be. We had some rules and some criteria.
Yeah.
It was basically we had to pick 12 matches, which we were one off from the actual card, so that's not bad.
I thought that we had too many matches to try to book, and here we are having a hard time.
We had to have 8 title matches. We got 5 points for predicting each correct match, and then 2 points for predicting each correct champion going into the show. And then also there was like a thing for 10 points for guessing the main event correctly. So, Corey.
Well,
we looked it over. We did the math. We crunched the numbers. We put it into the computer.
We both got one match correct.
And that was?
The same match.
Yeah.
Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. And then we both had 5 of our 8 champions correctly predicted.
What 5 did I get correct?
You got the Raw Women's Champion, Alexa Bliss.
Forever may she reign.
You got the New Day as SmackDown Tag Champs.
Yep.
You got AJ Styles as U.S. Champ. Jinder Mahal as WWE Champ. And Brock Lesnar as Universal Champ.
Okay.
And I got all the same ones except for I did not get the U.S. title because I said Kevin Owens would be champion. But I did get the SmackDown Women's
champion.
Naomi. I said Naomi would still be champ.
If I recall correctly, I don't think I put the SmackDown Women's title
on. You didn't. And I didn't have the Raw Women's.
Yeah.
I don't think I had the SmackDown tag. I did have the SmackDown tag.
Can't remember.
I don't know.
But anyway. So Corey and I tied.
We tied 15 points apiece.
15 points apiece. So
we'll have to try WrestleMania. Next week we're doing WrestleMania.
Dude, we are not doing WrestleMania next week. Dude, I can't even believe I'm surprised we got one match right.
We talked about this like 2 weeks ago. I texted you about it. Like, hey man, and It looked like I was going to get like 5 or 6 of them right because they were all potentially there.
Let me see that.
We both had Cena versus Jinder, which felt like that was going to be a guarantee.
I don't want to so there's a few that besides the one match that we got right, there's a few that I feel like we were in the right neighborhood. Notably, you had 2 matches where I had
Brock versus Strowman for the Universal and I had Roman versus Joe for the number 1 contendership. So if you push those together, there's your fatal 4-way championship.
Right.
Match.
So you were awfully close on that. And then I said it would be Enzo versus Cass.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel very good about that because I was close enough. But who could have predicted that they would have shoehorned the Big Show into this feud? So this is essentially Enzo versus Cass, except for Enzo's going to be, strung up in a playset, selling a device, 20 feet above the ring. So
where he'll still be talking.
He will still be talking endlessly. So let's get into it. We have 13 matches. We want to get out of here before too long. You guys don't want to listen to us all day, but
no, we got some time. So we won't spend a lot of time on these boring matches, right?
Which ones?
You'll know. Let's get to the pre-show.
All right. Opening match of the pre-show, we have Akira Tozawa, the newly crowned WWE Cruiserweight Champion, forever may he reign, taking on in his rematch Neville. Neville's been doing a fantastic job ever since losing the title, both on social media and anytime he appears on TV, just looking like he has had everything
ripped away
from him. He's he was on NXT. He was at Takeover last night, and they did a crowd shot of him, and he was just deadpanning, just
Let's see here.
It was fantastic. So, yeah. So, Cruiserweight title match. What are you guys thinking about this one? Do you guys think? I think this is
not excited.
Not excited.
No, they should have the title change on SummerSlam, not on Raw.
Knowing that it's on the pre-show, I kind of agree with the putting the title change on Raw.
Then they should have just got rid of the match entirely.
Yeah. I think this is an indication of how the Cruiserweight division is in general. It's just kind of floundering. It's just it's there. It's a thing that exists, but nobody's really.
They need Rey Mysterio.
Not gonna happen.
Who's that jumping out the sky? R-E-Y Mysterio.
I say put it on Cedric Alexander.
But that's the thing I thought with Cedric coming back from.
Abs.
They need a separate title just for Tony Nese's abs. They literally just need one just for his abs.
Yes.
So I thought they were building towards this thing with Cedric coming back to where just build him up, and then have him be the one who finally topples Neville.
Right.
I saw Neville having easily a year-long reign, if not longer. Easily.
It didn't even last 6 months.
It lasted longer than 6 months, didn't it?
He won it at what? When did he win it?
He won it at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, the Royal Rumble. So that's January,
8
February,
months.
March, April, May, June. Yeah, 8 months. So I saw this at least going till probably at least Survivor Series and then build up Cedric Alexander to that point.
I feel Neville at least got you excited about the Cruiserweight division.
He did a lot for it. He did a lot to
and
make
I think
that
it did a lot for him, too, because, he was just kind of coming off an injury. He kind of didn't really have a direction, so I think this... turning him heel and then doing this whole King of the Cruiserweights, this kind of gave him a direction and rejuvenized his career.
We've now had 5 Cruiserweight champions since the belt was introduced last summer. It feels like they've had a lot with it, but none of it's been notable. I love Rich Swann more than a lot of people probably do. But can you tell me one notable highlight of his championship reign? Did you even remember he was a Cruiserweight champion?
Yeah.
I mean, but what I'm saying is nothing notable happened with it. Nothing notable happened with T.J. Perkins as the Cruiserweight champion. Neville was the best thing to happen to that division and the best thing to happen to that belt. Yeah. And
I have a feeling he's going to be moving on to bigger and better opponents.
Do you think that they're going to reintegrate him into the kind of the normal?
I think so.
Normal roster? What would you call it? Non-Cruiserweight
he's
roster?
A mega. If they're not going to put him in the title picture on 205 Live,
what do they bill him at? Do they bill him at 205?
195?
Less than 205.
Yeah. Maybe just eats a couple cheeseburgers and suddenly he's
you don't
206
have to
pounds.
Be,
I know.
Finn Balor's 140 pounds.
He weighs more than 140.
He's 165 pounds.
I wonder what he's built.
I'm still wondering why Kalisto hasn't been introduced on 205 Live yet.
He was at NXT Takeover last night.
I don't understand.
Nakamura.
I don't understand. Why they did that whole thing with the shakeup too, where they literally swapped out Sin Cara for Kalisto.
Yeah.
And also, where's my Grand Metalik? My
He wrestles sometimes.
My dude's
on 205.
been but he's also been stuck on Superstars, like
At least he's getting paid.
That's 205.2.
Yeah, 205.2. Like, there's just they have the Cruiserweight Classic proved to you that these guys are incredibly talented. Just give them a chance. Let them open up the playbook a little bit. Like, let them, pull away. It's like a quarterback. It's like a rookie quarterback. Pull away the wristband and let them open up the playbook and get some real fun stuff in there. Like, let them hit their offense. Because if you have the Cruiserweights hitting the same moves that your guys on Raw and SmackDown are hitting and not actually doing like any of their crazy Cruiserweight stuff, then it just looks like the same stuff that you have on Raw and SmackDown, but smaller. And that's not doing them any favors.
Who do you got, Travis?
Neville wins it back.
Wow.
Neville, I don't feel confident about that, but
That's all right.
No faith in O'Neill Enterprises.
or the Titus brand. Oh, I love the Titus brand. I think that's also one of the best things that happened in the past couple months.
It's good.
Especially Titus.
What do you think, Robert? Who you got in this match?
I'll say it's gonna be close to the same ending. What they did on Raw, missed the arrow off top. Tozawa goes for the senton.
Just rinse and repeat.
Yep.
What do you got?
My
Mr.
crazy
McMahon?
prediction for this pay-per-view, and you've heard it here first.
The first of many.
Yes. Titus turns on Tozawa.
What?
Neville wins the title back and joins the Titus brand.
He would never join
no.
the Titus brand.
Okay, now you're getting a little.
He would never do that.
You're getting a little
Hey,
crazy.
He's
here.
the king of the cruiserweights.
Somebody check his blood toxicity.
What is this man sipping on?
Unbelievable.
I'm going to say Okiro Tozawa retains his title. Neville, like I
I
said,
love
moves on to
Tozawa
bigger
too.
and
Like
better
it just, I just don't know if right now is the time to pull the trigger on Tozawa. I feel like there's a lot of other guys that they've been building up. Like I would have probably bought a Cedric Alexander or a Mustafa Ali as cruiserweight champion before I would have Kira Tozawa.
Yeah. But in the same instance, though, if you got Cedric and you got Mustafa Ali, that opens the door for Noam Dar to come up.
This
Tony
is also
needs
true.
to come up.
This is also true.
It's just more. Even with Tozawa as the face champion,
Yeah.
Noam Dar. I love Dar.
Oh, Noam Dar is fantastic.
So it's
He's
like
great.
Especially you add Alicia Fox in there.
Alicia who?
Yeah.
Fox. All right, let's move on to our second match of our pre-show, which I think this will actually be our opening match. The Hardy Boys and Jason Angle versus the Miz Taraj.
Now this was
That's
initially supposed to be Hardy's and
The Revival.
but someone got hurt, right?
Yes,
Yep,
Scott
yep,
Dawson. I was going to wear my Revival shirt
Man,
today.
how
FTR stands for
F the Revival.
no, it stands for
Forever the Revival.
Forever the Revival or
man, you just
Bubble Wrap the Revival.
I like the Revival so much, and these guys just can't catch a break.
They really can't.
WWE
It
sent
hurts me.
a cease and assist
to Cody Rhodes.
to the Young Bucks and Cody Rhodes. And all of
Really?
this. That's what I heard. To stop saying the Revival.
I doubt they would do that because WWE knows that any publicity is good publicity. Every time that
Do you want your fans chanting "fuck the Revival" to the Revival at your shows?
are they chanting something at the Revival, then yes. I don't care what they're chanting as long as the fans are interacting. Then all for it. That's why they don't care about people booing Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
If they're
Or booing
reacting,
Cena.
yeah.
I think
If they're
that's on
reacting, they're
purpose.
reacting. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And who do you got and why?
who do I got and why? Of course, the Hardys and Jason Jordan are winning.
Miz
Of
Taraj.
course they are, because this is going to set up for Jason Jordan getting his Intercontinental title shot or whatever the next Raw pay-per-view is.
I
No
hope
Mercy,
not.
isn't?
So
I
you're
hope
saying
not.
the Hardys and Mr. Angle.
Yes.
You're saying the Miz Taraj. What do you got, Mr. McMahon?
I will say this much: the Miz Taraj has at least made Bo Dallas and
Relevant.
Curtis Axel relevant again, which is good to see because I've always liked both of them and always thought the WWE gave up way too quick on both guys.
Am I the only one who wants to dress like Bo Dallas now with like the one leather glove, the bandana, and sunglasses?
Curtis Axel has
Halloween
worked.
party.
Dude,
That's actually
I mean, Bo Dallas, how far has he fallen from NXT champ to... And he looked real promising to...
he's
well. You have the son of Mr. Perfect, who has been worked for WWE for over
said
10
Bo
years.
Dallas, not Curtis Axel.
And I said, and you
Oh,
have the
yeah,
son.
that
as
too.
they're both.
they're both third generation.
Yeah, I mean...
Good
Tundas and
wrestlers.
Hennings.
Yeah. I love Bo Dallas, but he is actually like the bottom of the NXT champion scale. Like on a scale of Bo Dallas to
But at the
Shinsuke
time, he
Nakamura,
didn't.
like,
At the time, he didn't seem like he was going to, and he had a really good, just
but they found
Good on
something
the
for
mic.
him. They found something for him.
yeah.
And it's great. I love it.
So, and I like this too. And as much as I hate the Miz, and I really dislike the Miz.
I need to switch chairs.
So who do you got, Mr. McMahon?
Going with the Hardys and Jason Angle Jordan.
Jason Angle Jordan.
Jason Angle Jordan.
I'm going with Jason Angle Jordan as well. I think he's going to pin The Miz, and that will lead to his championship match that he will lose, hopefully, next month.
Why do you guys like sell my picks like they're crazy and then pick the same thing as me?
Because-
I hate when you guys do that.
Because most of them are crazy.
You're right.
Here's a
right.
crazy match that's on the pre-show.
Why is this on the pre-show?
We have The New Day.
Who?
The New Day taking on the Usos.
Down since day one ish.
Ish.
It
I
day
like them
one
since
ish.
day one-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you been down since? Day one ish. Maybe day two.
Day
Not
one
sure.
is H.
Usos.
Usos. Is
You
that
said
your pick already?
Usos taking it back. Wow.
I'm really feeling the new, just the gimmick overall, because I feel it's them.
It is. It's them turned up to 11.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I love their promo style too. Like I love how they just like it's like a combination of yelling, rapping, and bouncing off each other. It's so good.
Yeah, and actually, I mean,
That's how we should do our show. We should just yell and just bounce off each other and intimidate people and talk about prison.
the Usos Penitentiary.
Yeah, we get Audio Suplex Live Penitentiary. Welcome to the ASL Penitentiary.
We're
Orange
gonna get
shirts.
sponsored by a prison.
Take it. I'll take it. I'll take whatever sponsorships we can get. We'll sell out the second you give us a chance.
Any sponsorship is a good sponsorship. That's what I always say.
Me Undies, come at us. Carfax, come at us. Home Depot, I don't give a hell, dude.
AT&T.
AT&T, pay us. We'll plug anything. I don't care.
Yeah.
Buckeye
Speaking
Cable.
of plugging anything,
So yeah,
how's no, never mind.
Not
No,
so
and I-
much.
and-
Joe's like, nope, not so much.
I agree that I love the new Usos and I love the rivalry.
Yeah.
These two have been going at it for years and years and years now. It feels like 10 years now that these teams have been doing battle. I know it hasn't been that long, obviously, but like it just feels like these guys. But they're great. They're great for each other. They're like a great.
It makes it
foil.
interesting.
Yes. With that said, this is a tough one to pick because
It's not tough at all.
the Usos are taking the belts back. It behooves the SmackDown Tag Team division in all of its state of disarray that they're in right now, having literally just two teams besides the Fashion Police, to keep the belts interesting by switching them back and forth between the two rival teams that they have.
You fool.
You look
Over dirty.
So you're saying Uso? You said Usos,
Yep.
right?
Uso crazy.
I'm gonna go New Day, just because I have a feeling we could see an Authors of Pain show up here soon. That's gonna
You're gonna want a
I'd
face
go-
team.
that
to
you're gonna
fight
need
them.
you're gonna need a heel team to
They
fight
are
the
they
Usos.
are faces. You see those Ninja Turtle masks? I love the Ninja Turtles.
Jesus Christ, those are bad. I'm gonna take the New Day because
Do you think somebody was ribbing them with those?
I don't
Yeah.
need to see another Usos New Day match next month. So we will get new opponents for the tag.
So you said New
titles.
Day?
New Day.
If it
rocks.
wasn't pre-show,
But then again, I wouldn't have thought that Miz and Ambrose would have lasted.
I got a
almost
three-face-
10 months either, though.
3 face teams winning on the pre-show for me.
if it wasn't
Faces.
pre-show, I would say Authors of Pain are coming, but
I'm just imagining like right before they walked out of Gorilla, somebody like backstage, some agent just goes like, "Hey fellas, put these on real quick," and just hands them like a bunch of Ninja Turtle masks. Like, the hell
Put the
you want us?
bandana over the face so they can't tell it's a turtle's mouth.
The hell you want us to do with these? Wear them.
All right, so we got 2 Usos, 2 New Day.
We're promoting a Turtles movie. Let's go.
Let's get to the main card. Speaking of tag team championship matches,
Let's go.
Sheamus
I
and Cesaro
am so
taking on the
pumped.
Shield.
I'm so pumped.
can we
It's-
call them the Shield?
They're not the
Yes.
Shield.
We can call them the Shield.
They're not. They're
We're
not the
missing
Shield.
one.
No, yeah, you're missing.
I
a
wouldn't say
very-
we're missing anything.
You guys are still in this anti-Roman train. You guys are in 2017.
I
I'm
don't dislike Roman.
I'm in 2037. I'm a full-fledged Roman Reigns fan at this point. and
I
am-
attempted to buy a Roman Reigns T-shirt to wear to WrestleMania this year,
Did you?
but I couldn't find one. I didn't have enough time to order one online.
Yeah. Oh, I remember that. There was a whole entire day fiasco.
A day of going to every store.
Corey texted me like, "Who do you think would have wrestling shirts?" And I like texted him like a whole list. Like,
None of them
nobody
did.
Unreal. So, The Raw Tag Team titles, Sheamus and Cesaro defending their belts against a newly formed brothers of Seth Rollins and Dan Ambrose. Newly reformed, I should say.
John Moxley. Sorry.
Newly reformed. The pop for
The fist bump?
the fist bump between Rollins and Ambrose was probably in the top 5 that I have heard in recent history. Like, it was.
Did you hear
was
it? Because I
huge.
heard you didn't watch Raw.
It was huge. It was a very huge pop. And yes, I did.
Oh. The hugest pop since
Probably.
Britney Spears. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what you're going on
Pop
about.
music.
It's up there, though. It was a huge pop. I would put it up there with like the Hardys coming back at Mania. I would put it up there with AJ
Wow.
Styles' debut. It was a huge pop,
Yeah, it was
man.
pretty big.
They were stoked on it.
AJ was bigger than the Hardys.
Well, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Hardys was expected. AJ was like,
Hardys popped me really hard.
Yeah.
Corey remembers. He was sitting in the living room.
I think
with me
everybody
when
was
we were
kind of
watching.
like, oh,
Well, because they did the red herring move. They pulled out the New Day and they had their gear on. Everyone's like, oh, damn, they're going to throw themselves
there's
up in
another
this match.
team.
Yeah, and then, yeah.
Well,
So,
let's dissect this a little bit. What are your thoughts on the chances for the challengers here, Travis?
I am saddled up, and for the challengers, I like the fact that they're together. I like the fact that it's going to probably be an uneasy alliance between the two because Dean Ambrose is always going to be. It's in his character to be always looking over his shoulder at
they
Seth
fisted.
Rollins. They did fist each other, but that's what it's called, guys. They look. I'll fist Corey right now. Like,
Well, we'll save that for later.
for the after hours ASL show. So we like the I like it, but I'm not entirely sold on it, and this goes into my prediction.
Okay.
So
Feel it out.
Sheamus and Cesaro retain
Via disqualification.
via
Nefarious.
Ambrose and Rollins not being able to get on the miscommunication. There's going to be miscommunication because there's a missing element to their partnership, and now they're going to spend
The level-headed Roman Reigns.
They're going to spend this time trying to get him back into the fold. After they realize that they can't work together as a team, they're going to try to get him back into the fold.
I would like to see that.
So, and plus, I forever may Sheamus and Cesaro hold those belts.
They are the bar, from what I hear.
They have new T-shirts, and they are fantastic.
Is it like an NWO
Yeah.
shirt that says bar?
Yeah, fantastic. Sign me up. Let's go. I love bars.
I'll take Ambrose Rollins. They need to keep the tag titles
Interesting.
kind of relevant.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, you could really book this either way.
First of all, can I say I'm glad that we're not going to have an Ambrose Miz match.
Yes.
No, you cannot. You cannot say
this
that.
pay-per-view. Right now, I think this is the best thing for both Ambrose and Rollins. Right now, they're not.
It's the most relevant thing they've done.
They're
Since
they're not too far, but they're a little bit behind the heavyweight title contenders right now. Ambrose already had an IC title run.
I thought Rollins was getting that one.
I
for a
did
minute.
too for a little bit, but just for both of them, I just think this is the best thing for them. Have them focus both on something else,
and it gives them something to do.
It gives them
relevant.
something to do that's relevant. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go with Ambrose and Rollins reluctantly, but I just think, look, Sheamus and Cesaro are very good, and I have not enjoyed both of these guys more lately than this whole current run. But I also think they're at that level now where they don't necessarily need the tag team titles to be relevant or to be over.
All right.
I think they get over just even without the belts.
Here's my predictions.
Oh, God.
Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins will win the tag team titles.
I'm going lone wolf on this one.
Because, one, it elevates the tag belts a little bit. You got two former world champions.
They're not belts.
As your
They're
tag,
championship titles.
your tag belts. Your tag belts are elevated. Tag belts.
You're triggering
Tag belts, sorry. Championship title things.
the strap.
The straps.
All right, so it elevates the tag titles, which I agree
Yes,
with.
and I think that they are going to be a good tag team for a while, and we will see a split where Dean turns heel on Seth around around Survivor Series.
Survivor Series?
Around Survivor Series.
Setting up for maybe a match at Survivor Series.
Well,
or
the wrestling video game comes out around then, so I think having them in a big
in a high
program.
profile. Yeah, plus with
Have Seth come out on top.
Seth Rollins as your
As the face.
your cover star of WWE 2K18.
A nice
love
grudge
it.
match for the pay-per-view, I think.
I love Survivor Series.
New
I
tag
can't wait.
champs.
Yeah, no, not gonna happen.
Fifth
Moving on.
match of the card. What do we got here?
We have Anthony James Styles
Allen.
defending his United States
Jones.
Championship against Kevin Owens, the former face of America, now the face of moping.
Alan Jones versus Kevin Steen for the United States belt.
United States,
Just because you said
Belt.
Steen.
yeah. Steen
I got to go to his last indie show before he got called up to WWE.
must be
Yep.
nice.
Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Did you go to that show?
Yeah.
Dearborn.
I was there.
Yeah.
You guys were at the same show?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's so cute.
Steen's last show
Yeah.
against Carino.
Yeah.
I wasn't there.
He fought Carino.
I was, yeah,
It was a good match.
Yeah.
yeah.
I didn't know Carino would still be able to go as much as he did because he's a little bit older. But
Yeah, no, he can still go, dude.
well, I don't
like
know if
it.
he still can.
Well, but then he could.
Well, he probably still can.
Yeah, it was only like what 4 years ago.
Hey, do you want to
5
be
years
on the
ago?
show?
Steve Carino, hit us up.
Kevin Owens?
Kevin Owens. Anyway,
Okay.
so AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens. I love this rivalry, although I will say to this point, I don't think any of their matches have lived up to what this rivalry should be. Because I know that both of these guys, and they've wrestled each other before in ROH and, in different various promotions. Like, these two, I think, are definitely much more capable of a better match, and I don't know if it's that they've purposely been sandbagging. I would hate to think so.
Yeah.
Because, obviously they want to go out and steal the show every night. But I think knowing the fact that they may have been drawing out this program to SummerSlam, they're saving the big one for this, and it's going to
Be a good one. With Shane in there will also be an interesting thing, is Shane being the special guest.
My
referee.
question would be, do you think after the build, will Shane have some kind of influence on the finish?
Absolutely. You wouldn't
think
have him
so.
in there if he didn't.
It's the whole reason he's in this match.
Because the rumor is going forward with this is that this sets up for a program with Owens and Shane
For a match, yeah.
for a match at Hell in a Cell, and I think that's going to be a direct descendant of like what happens in this
That's
match.
October, right?
Yeah,
That's the next
in
SmackDown pay-per-view.
Detroit.
yeah,
Is that SmackDown
Yeah.
this year?
yeah. That's SmackDown. and
Really?
it's
Because
gonna
it was Raw last year.
They switched them up.
they're
No Mercy
switching.
was SmackDown last year, and it's Raw this year. So.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
And then same thing with Extreme Rules. I think that's going to end up being was that
They
Smack?
just
that was,
did Extreme Rules.
Yeah, but that was Raw.
TLC.
That was Raw last year. Then it was it's going to be SmackDown this year. Extreme Rules.
TLC's
Or
December.
next year. I should
Right.
say.
I think that got switched too. So whoever had it last
Yeah,
year
I think-
doesn't have it this year.
Yeah. So and then Elimination Chamber, I think will probably switch again too.
So Money in the Bank will be Raw next year.
Yeah. So
I don't mind them doing that.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm into it. So anyway, so yeah,
So you think AJ Styles is going to win because
AJ
Kevin Owens got
Styles-
to do a thing with
Yep.
Shane. And Shane's
Styles
obviously gonna be-
retains, and it's a direct influence of Shane McMahon. Somehow,
You don't have a.
I don't.
You didn't fantasy book.
I don't know how it's going to happen, but he's going to be involved in the finish somehow. So either he's going to fast count Kevin Owens, or
Oh, no.
which I don't think is going to happen.
I really meant to look up every time a
Or
McMahon has
maybe-
been a special guest
maybe,
referee,
Maybe it's a
just to see if they always did like the shady thing. 'Cause
Maybe
I feel
it's
like
a-
they had to have.
Screw you, Austin.
maybe
Exactly.
it's a. I think Shane McMahon has probably had like the longest face run of any McMahon's.
Yeah.
Like,
But not really. When did he come back? A year ago?
yeah,
So
Been
one,
about
one
2
year
years.
long?
It's
But
been
even-
2 years now.
but even for
No, it has not.
No,
What do you mean it has
It was
not?
2
It has not been 2 years.
Yes, it has.
Whoa,
Fuck
whoa,
you.
Whoa, whoa,
You wanna bet on this?
whoa.
Yes.
Fellas.
It happened last year.
Thank
right
God we're
before
not in
Did
the
not
brand
happen
split.
last year.
Yes, right before WrestleMania last year.
Thank
yes,
God-
it did. He came back and wrestled Undertaker for control of Raw. That was the first thing he did.
I know he.
Hey, guys. Thank God we're not in the middle of a show. Fantastic. So, moving on.
What do you think, Travis? When did Shane McMahon come back?
Shane McMahon came back before WrestleMania 32. So, we just passed WrestleMania 33. So, it was... I would say we'll split the difference and we'll say it was a year and a half ago. I don't have the exact date, but he came back. It was the
Like
night...
a month before WrestleMania.
No.
Maybe a month and a half.
3 shows before.
It was
Raw.
the night after one of the big four. I can't remember which one it was.
Royal Rumble would have been the only one, but I don't think it was.
Regardless.
Okay.
So, AJ Styles is going over.
Yes.
Shane McMahon is going to be involved in the finish in some capacity. It's going to set up for a program with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens. Or not AJ Styles, but Kevin Owens and
I agree.
Shane McMahon at some point
Yeah.
down the line.
We'll
I
go
agree.
Styles retain.
I think the only reason that this particular storyline is happening is because of the last pay-per-view. AJ and Kevin Owens had a mishap on the finish of the match where AJ got pinned when he shouldn't have been, or the ref was supposed to do some sort of bump. So and they actually played it out pretty well, in my opinion. So
Shane McMahon returned to WWE on February 22nd, 2016. So it was like a year and a half ago.
yeah,
So,
last year.
did you have a pick?
I said Styles.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't catch it. I was too busy making sure we weren't tearing apart the studio.
You're playing Shane McMahon in an instance.
Yeah. Corey, you said AJ Styles as well. And
U.S.
then,
champ.
Shawn, what did you say?
AJ's going to win.
Okay, cool. So, moving on to our next match. Does anybody else have any other thoughts on that going forward?
It's going to be one of the best matches. of the night,
I do
think.
will say, even though I'm happy he's in the heavyweight title match or the world title match, I was kind of hoping that this was going to be a Nakamura AJ here on SummerSlam.
They're saving that. They're saving that tasty morsel for WrestleMania. That's when they're bringing
Hopefully
out.
they book Nakamura properly until then.
I would like to think so.
Is he going to win tonight? We'll find out.
I would like to think so.
We'll find out in just a minute.
So
Nakamura Styles world title WrestleMania.
at WrestleMania, if they're smart, they'll do it. If not, they won't. It'll be on the pre-show. I don't know.
Speaking of guys that wrestle Nakamura,
We have Juan Cena, if you will, taking on Baron Corbin in what feels to me like one of the most rushed setups for a SummerSlam match, or it's like a pay-per-view match in history. I feel like this has only been like 2 weeks in the making here. Like there's not really been any build to this, and I think adding the whole wrinkle of Cena
cash-in?
Yeah, Cena costing Baron Corbin the cash-in helps. But I still don't feel invested in this match.
if they hadn't done that, I feel like this match would really be worth nothing.
Which is really funny because Cena can make me excited about any program that he's in. Like when he was in that program with The Miz going into WrestleMania, it was a program that on paper I shouldn't have been excited about, but because Cena and The Miz were able to invest so much story into it, I was hook, line, and sinker. Like I was sold. Like let's go, let's run it, let's get this match at Mania. So it's a little disheartening. I think this is literally just an excuse to get Cena and Corbin on the card.
Cena should have been in the world title match.
Baron Corbin wins.
I agree. Corbin does go over this one, but
Through nefarious means.
I think this match was just thrown together. I agree.
Yeah.
I would have liked to seen Cena versus Ziggler.
That would have been nice. Where is Dolph Ziggler? I heard there's a rumor he's getting like repackaged. Which I don't. What are you gonna do?
Right.
He's still Dolph Ziggler. Like what?
I liked him when his hair was turning brown there for a while after the split.
Let's throw a mask on him.
Well,
Oh my goodness!
he could be the Mr. America.
Send him 205 Live.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
he might weigh too much.
Maybe GM of 205 Live. I don't. Whatever.
Yeah.
You need a model or something to do that.
Yeah, he is a model. He's a show off.
I'm gonna go with. This is a tough one.
Search your heart. 7 opponents.
You know why? Yeah, you're right. He has to lose this. This is the last
this is the
SummerSlam
last year
that
for
Cena
that.
will ever lose.
Have you heard about that?
No.
So there's if
7
you remember,
years ago.
SummerSlam 2010. It was the 7-on-7 John Cena versus Team Nexus, and John Cena, obviously, it was like that infamous John Cena goes over the 2 remaining members of the Nexus. I think it was Justin Gabriel and
Wade
Barrett. And basically that was like marked as like the time that John Cena, like Super Cena,
Should
was at
not
his
have
worst.
won.
Like he should have lost that match to put the Nexus over and make them a
I thought I
credible
heard
threat.
even that they wanted to put Nexus over.
Originally.
And Cena said,
He said,
Yeah,
"No,
yeah, yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not."
Cena used a little bit, allegedly, used a little
yeah.
bit of his influence to kind of say like no, and even he has come out and
Allegedly.
said afterwards that like
he shouldn't have done
hey, I should have put them over, like that's what should happen. So the rumor is, and it's actually become like a wrestling old wives tale at this point, that since that SummerSlam, John Cena has spent every SummerSlam since putting somebody over for the past 7 years to make up for each member of the 7 members of the Nexus that he buried that night. So
the only problem I have is 2 of those matches were against CM Punk, who did not need to be put over. But
yeah, so two times against CM Punk. He put Daniel Bryan over.
Yep.
He put Kevin Owens over, AJ Styles over. There's one more that I'm forgetting.
Edge or no?
I don't think it was Edge. Was it Rusev?
No.
No. Anyway,
it might have been.
Do we,
Rusev, but I don't
do
think
we
so.
already
This is
hit
the-
Lesnar?
so-
'Cause Lesnar.
Oh, yeah,
Lesnar.
Lesnar.
And then this is
When
this is
Lesnar
Yeah,
beat the
he put-
crap out of him,
Put Lesnar over.
up and coming superstar Brock
he might
Lesnar.
be the next big thing.
You know, that's somebody I miss. Wade Barrett.
That Wade
Yeah,
Barrett
he's
is
great.
Come back to us, man.
He was one of my that's who I paid attention to.
Yeah, and we'll see.
Just
He,
booked
that's,
him so poorly.
he should have been a star, but that was like the
What could have
onset
been
of,
had Cena put him over?
So, and then this is the 7th year of it. So this year, I think it's going to culminate with him
Hopefully
putting a up and coming star.
I'm saying
over
Corbin. I'm saying
Baron
Corbin.
Yeah.
I talked you into it.
We all said Corbin.
Shawn?
I really could see John Cena winning though, just because he wins a lot of matches he shouldn't. I think he said Corbin.
I think I'll go with Corbin too, just because I don't see. It's not going to hurt Cena if he loses this. It's not going to, do anything for him if he wins.
All right, let's talk about the Raw Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss putting her title on the line, not against Bayley, but against Sasha Banks due to a Bayley injury. Travis, do you think that they would replace Bayley with Sasha Banks and have Sasha win? Is that a realistic outcome?
Yes, I do think there's a realistic outcome, and it wouldn't shock me. I think that these two already proved that. Was it Extreme Rules that Sasha and Alexa had their last match?
Was it Extreme
I
Rules?
believe it was.
think so.
No, 'cause
Extreme
that was
Rules
still with Bayley.
with the kendo stick match,
Right.
which.
I don't think they've wrestled other than on Raw.
No, they had a pay-per-view match. I can't remember what show it was at.
Yeah.
Did they? Anyway.
Well, okay. Statistically, wrestlers who replace injured wrestlers typically win. Statistically.
I could see this being okay. So one, Sasha Banks is still, and follow me down the road here a little bit. Sasha Banks is still heavily recognized as one of the faces that brought women's wrestling, especially from the 4 horsewomen of NXT. So like, we already know that NXT Takeover Brooklyn is a huge thing, and that a lot of the fans who were both there for SummerSlam are also huge NXT followers as well. So I think if you're going to pull the trigger on Alexa dropping the belt to somebody, I think
had it for a while.
I think Sasha's the right person, and I think SummerSlam is the right time.
And then Bayley comes back to feud with Sasha.
Oh,
Because, you could make the
Sasha-
case for that heel turn either way. You could do Sasha doing the whole, hey, I beat the person you couldn't beat. Or you could flip side that with Bayley if you wanted to. Okay.
Bayley heel turn. I still don't see it.
interesting.
Look, I will say this
she's
much,
too
though.
innocent for me.
She did do an interview where she did say she would not be opposed, and a matter of fact, would love to be a heel someday.
it'd be
So,
interesting.
plus you could have that.
Do we have the numbers on her merch sales?
It's not like she's doing anything great as a face, though.
But
I
I
need to
mean,
know.
she's so. But I mean, look, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. I don't think she's translated on a bigger scale
Exactly. I agree.
in the WWE. I think her gimmick worked more, in NXT than it does, full scale right now.
Agreed.
So I think it's right now it's kind of like bland enough where, hey, maybe you turn her heel and give her, a rejuvenize her career.
You could even slow burn it and have
Yeah, and you can make it to where it makes sense because
have Sasha win the title here at SummerSlam, and then Bayley basically says, "Okay, cool, I want a shot at it now," and Sasha basically just kind of like, "No, we'll get to that or whatever," and Sasha just kind of like skirts around it until Bayley just gets so frustrated with the situation that she just
or she just gets upset that, hey, I couldn't beat Alexa, Sasha beat Alexa, and
Or-
the jealousy angle. I mean, it's all where you can make it work.
You ready? Travis Fantasy Books, you ready? Close your eyes. Follow me down this path.
We gonna do the mood lighting?
Somebody hits Bayley upside the head. She dyes a streak of her hair white
she can't remember.
and becomes Broken Bayley. Run
Oh
it.
my goodness.
Run it.
So who you got in this one?
I'm taking Sasha Banks. I just talked myself into it.
Okay.
This is like one of the matches that I'm excited for because my wife loves both of them.
Dude, they can both go. Like,
Yeah.
they're good for each other.
Right. So like she loves Bliss, but she was like really big on Sasha. So I like both. I'm gonna go Sasha.
Oh,
You know who wins this one?
the fans.
The fans.
I will say this much. Who thought just coming with all the talent from the NXT coming up with the draft and everything, that she always had the potential, but that Alexa Bliss would just take this ball and like
I did.
She's
become
like a bubbly princess in NXT.
I did.
But I mean, just from where she was at to now,
get
she's
it.
like, you know,
I was watching Takeover Brooklyn 1 a couple weeks ago. Just going back and watching it, and the Vaudevillains versus Blake and Murphy with Alexa Bliss, and they brought out blue pants for the Vaudevillains. And even then, I remember looking at Alexa Bliss and going, like, God, she has got like an.
well, once they turned her heel and dropped the whole kind of fairy
Sparkle
princess,
splash.
I mean, you took her more seriously.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like what they did with Becky at first when they gave her the whole kind of very hard Irish leprechaun. I'm like, I want to like this girl, but they're making her so stereotypical Irish that
Shawn, who's your pick?
Sasha.
Ladies
I
and
think
gentlemen,
I think you can just do more with her going forward.
Get out your brooms, people.
your winner of the women's championship match, Alexa Bliss. Because she still has a program with Nia Jax that she has to get out of the way that they've been building for months. For months and months and months. Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax.
Oh, yeah, because we've never known WWE to build up a storyline for months and months and months and never give you any sort of closure to it.
Okay.
That would just shock me.
I'll bet you $5 on this match, Travis.
I got 5 on it.
I got 5 on it. Fist me for it, bro.
Let's fist
right
each
here
other.
on this camera, right here. Okay. You're not supposed to blow out the fist. After her fisting, you don't blow it out.
Oh, my God. If this show had rails, it was long off of them. So, moving on. What's our next
We got
match,
3
Tori?
Sashas and a Bliss. Naomi and Natalia.
Or as I like to call it, a Saturday night. Anyway.
Natalia.
You're taking Natalia?
Yep.
I think, you know what?
I wouldn't mind seeing Natalia.
Can I predict what your reasoning is?
Go ahead.
It's time. It's time to give her that spotlight.
Yeah.
She was Divas champion.
She's been Divas champion before, but that was at a bygone era where nobody really gave an absolute shit about women's wrestling or really WWE. Like the company was at a really bad place anyway at that point.
I think she's done enough to prove that she could take it and run with it for a while.
Yeah,
it gives a
I'll
good
give it
rivalry
to her.
for Charlotte, too.
And this is no short to Naomi. I love Naomi, but I think her time with the belt has already kind of like come and gone. Like I'm not really as invested with her as champion anymore, and I think this would be a good feel-good story. You could even use it as a catalyst to turn Natalia, full face at this point. I don't know. Not that
I would
buy
still
that,
keep her
but-
heel.
Yeah.
Because when Charlotte comes back,
Yeah,
it could really, really...
Good matchup.
yeah.
Both submission
But
finishers.
keep in mind,
Yep.
Carmella...
has that Money in the Bank.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm going to say Naomi beats Natalia. Carmella comes out and cashes in tonight.
You think
2
she
cash-ins in 1 week.
And Natalia helps
Carmella win?
Yep.
No.
Naomi celebrates, got distraction.
Wow.
Okay,
Whoa.
so you're saying you're still saying Natalia.
Yep.
I'm gonna piggyback on that because I actually agree with you.
Natalia.
But we could
Naomi
also
wins. Carmella cashes in afterwards.
Okay, so you're going with Naomi with the win, but she's not walking out with the belt according to you. Let me lay it on you, fellas. Naomi's winning that match and retaining her belt, and the only reason why is WWE is currently working on glow replica belts that they can sell, and she has to be the champion for those to be moved off the shelves.
I didn't hear anything about
I was
that.
not privy to this information.
Exactly. That's why I'm the insider, Corey.
We'll have to get
Corey.
that belt and go downtown to the Suds party.
Oh yeah, straight up to like a phone party. Absolutely. Catch me out there, the whole 9.
So we got 2 Naomis and 2 Natalias.
I do like the idea. So I almost like the idea of the cash in, but WWE giving us the old groin punch, so we get like the feel good moment with Natalia, getting the women's title and like the crowning moment. Like, yeah, she finally did it. And then getting cashed in on 5 seconds later.
Well, I mean, that was kind of the same feel we had a couple years ago when Daniel Bryan beat John Cena. It's like, he finally did it. Here comes Randy Orton. Like, damn it.
Ugh.
But
They just love the piss in our Cheerios.
I think we're going to
don't
be
they?
closer to Rumble before we see that cashed in.
If Natalia wins, no cash in. If Naomi wins,
Cash in. Okay. Corey, do you have a cash in?
No cash-ins tonight, no way. Whoa! 2 in 1 week, no way.
All right.
No way.
Moving forward, so we have the big match. The big
literally.
match.
Big versus big.
The big match.
Show versus Cash.
Cass.
Cass.
Kid
Cass.
Cash. Kid Cash is coming back?
I wish.
Hell yeah, dude. Confirmed. Run it. Let's go. I love Kid Cash.
I don't really think we need to talk about this match too in depth.
I hope not.
Big Cass.
I mean,
Although
this is all just to put Cass over and
Big
make him
Cass
look-
is winning. I think that Enzo might try to help Big Show by maybe tossing him some brass knuckles because his hand is hurt. So to help with
Inadvertently-
and Big Cass gets the brass knucks.
So inadvertently helps out Big Cass.
Correct.
Passing of the torch.
And then you find out that it's not inadvertent, that Enzo's actually turning heel and they're going to team back up with Cass because it's saving.
Because what the hell else are they going to do with Enzo?
I know it's bold.
Besides-
predicting.
Gonna fire him if you
205
believe what
Live.
you hear.
The only thing they do with him is send him to Foot Lockers and have him buy sneakers and then put it on Instagram.
That's
like,
all right.
it's-
All right, Big Cass.
Yep.
Yeah.
Big Cass.
Yeah.
Big Cass.
Cass.
Big Cass.
Reluctantly.
All right, Randy Orton versus Rusev Mashka.
And Randy Orton fights the world.
Guys, we're flying through these.
Well, we need to. We still got 4 more matches to discuss.
I'm gonna go Orton.
Orton.
I'm gonna go Rusev because I don't think he eats 2 pay-per-view losses in a row because he just lost.
But
to
Randy
John
does?
Cena. No, I think Randy does because he's on his way out for a period of time anyway. To
He's
film.
about to go film
He
a
can do it,
movie.
Yeah.
So why it would make so much more? What does he have to gain by chalking up a win over Rusev, who's going to be on the roster still for the foreseeable future?
Payback for last
But
year.
I literally just said the exact same thing about John Cena at WrestleMania. I was like, yeah, he's going to put the Miz over because he's going away to film his TV show or whatever. So
What
That
happened
one
last year
just
to Randy
seemed more
Orton?
likely.
I'm saying Rusev, but I'm literally just saying it with my heart because Rusev needs a win.
If he wins, do you throw him in the title picture?
into the WWE title picture.
No.
No, I think we throw him in the U.S. title picture again, but with the caveat of saying that it's now a elevated U.S. title picture since the last time he
With
was in
AJ
that.
with the
yeah.
belt.
Right.
Yeah.
So you could kind of put him in that consideration, but I wouldn't put him in the WWE
I
title
can see
picture.
AJ Rusev at Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I think last year Randy Orton lost to Brock Lesnar in a
I just got-
embarrassing fashion.
I just got tingles thinking about AJ Styles versus Rusev. I like that.
God, tingles where?
It's, you know.
I'm gonna go with Rusev, but I can definitely see Randy Orton winning this match. Like I said, last year he was kind of embarrassed. He got the crap beat out of him. He was bloodied and beaten down by Brock Lesnar.
Well, that's the thing. Randy Orton always looks dumb at SummerSlam and looks great at Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Like that's like Survivor Series is the Randy Orton pay-per-view.
Well, I'm going Rusev. You're going Rusev.
I got Orton.
We got an Orton.
I'm gonna go Orton.
Wow,
now,
50-50 split.
I think Rusev should win, and going forward, it helps him more. Just they usually like to.
I think this is one of the
Reward.
harder ones to call
Yeah.
because it could go either way.
It
The
could.
smart money, I think Rusev winning does more good for Rusev than it does
I
Randy.
do too. I think there's
But-
more upside if you have Rusev win, but
Randy needs to get some wins. He's been losing a lot. He's been jobbing out to Jinder Mahal these last couple weeks.
yeah, whoever thought you
So-
could
Has
say
Orton and
that.
Nakamura faced off yet?
No.
No.
No, they're both face.
See it, Nakamura ever faced?
Well, it was for the number one contendership for the world title.
So
I'd like to see it.
All right,
I
we
would
got
like to see
50-50. I got Rusev. Travis got Rusev. Let's go on to the next match. Demon Finn Balor versus Not So Demon Bray Wyatt. What do you think,
He'll come out with some
Trav?
type of face paint.
I think it's going to be red themed because he got blood dumped on him on Raw. So I think he's going to do like a blood red.
yeah, but then
type demon.
they'll have to gray out the entire match when they show it on the network.
It's not real blood.
But
It was JR's barbecue sauce.
Oh, it's terrible.
did anybody actually see this though? Apparently
Yeah.
they like color corrected it on videos and stuff like that on YouTube. Apparently it's like brown liquid now when they have the clips.
It's brown on the clips.
Yep.
Like yeah, for like when you watch that clip back from Raw on like YouTube and stuff like that, it's like brown. It looks like motor oil.
I haven't
It's
gotten
so-
a chance.
It's legit his barbecue sauce.
I haven't
That's
gotten a chance to watch Raw yet of that, but I heard they didn't call it blood. They called it something.
Acidic.
Yeah,
some sort of acidic
some
liquid.
viscous.
How do you
fluid.
know that? Can you smell it from up the ramp where you're seating?
Well, what you don't know is that Corey Graves actually goes to empty buckets around backstage and sticks his finger in and just tests it. He's actually hoping that's a
Szechuan sauce?
Yeah, that's what he's hoping for. He's hoping that it's going to be Szechuan sauce from McDonald's, but it's actually not. It's just viscous fluid. But Corey Graves is impervious to acid, so he survived.
What do you think, Travis? I think that the
Why would
demon...
you ask me what I think and then start talking?
I'm just going to tell you because I always go last.
Go nuts.
Finn Balor's winning because he's never lost as the demon.
Because death,
Except for one time.
taxes, Bray Wyatt loses on pay-per-views.
That's why he won on Raw, so that he could lose on pay-per-view.
Pay-per-view.
50.
Yes.
Balor.
Yes.
Balor.
If you pick anything but Finn Balor in a comeback story from him killing himself last year, then you're a fool.
Balor, just because
You
Bray
don't-
Wyatt anymore is there just to put everybody else over.
Yeah. And let me tell you something.
Tell me about it.
Being a Bray Wyatt fan is hard.
It is.
It's hard. The whole reason we had that celebration drop in the pool is because I made that for when Bray Wyatt won the title at Elimination Chamber. I texted Joe Joe, you remember that episode? I came out. I had party hats for everybody. I had noisemakers. We came out and we had ourselves a party. I was like, yeah, Bray Wyatt finally did it. And then WrestleMania happened, and then everything else that happened after that happened. And
So this is probably the easiest call of the night, I think, for us, right? You're saying Demon, right?
yeah.
Demon Balor.
It
4
hurts.
all around.
And I love Finn Balor. Like, I'm a little bored with him, but since he's come back from injury, he's actually improved a lot, especially on the microphone.
Yeah.
It's just hard to be a Bray Wyatt fan, man.
Breathe it in, man.
I've been to the mountaintop, man, and I'll tell you, man, being a Bray Wyatt fan is really hard.
Let's
man.
move on to our next match. We
I'm
all
doing
got
my
this.
Bray Wyatt impersonation right now.
This is the match I'm most excited for, as you can tell by my T-shirt, my
Yeah.
Jinder Mahal T-shirt.
Maharaja.
Soon to be on clearance.
Well, let me put I need my Jinder Mahal championship belt too.
Show them the side plates.
Oh yeah, hold on.
We have custom side plates. Look at this. Heel Corey. You guys can get them on shop.audiosuplex.live. You guys get your custom Heel Corey side plates available for $29.99 plus shipping and handling.
I'll pay the shipping and handling if you actually order them.
I'll make them. I made those by
You
hand.
did. Thank you.
Crafty dude.
My idea. I was going to do it just by myself.
It's a really good idea, actually. So anyway,
All right. Jinder Mahal versus Nakamura for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship title.
First thought that comes to mind is, what are the upcoming tours they're going to do?
have
Are they going to India?
They have India coming up.
They
in
got India and they
September.
got Japan coming up.
Oh.
Ooh.
Uh-oh, what do you do?
So
Also, this match is like, people are sleeping on this
people are
match
definitely sleeping on
are.
this match.
because of Styles.
But I also think that the Fatal 4-Way really kind of overshadows this one a lot because there's a lot of star power in one.
It's going to be a
ring.
great match.
It's going to be fantastic, but I think this is actually going to be in a contendership for match of the night. It's definitely going to be a good match. It's not going to be anything bad. I think people are still kind of selling. I think people have been selling Nakamura short since his debut on the main roster, and I also think that people are still selling Jinder Mahal a little bit short, and I think that these two are going to have a really good match.
Hopefully.
So,
Hopefully their styles match up well.
with that being said,
Travie, what do you got?
I think it's time to pull the trigger.
Oh,
Although I'm really split on this because I would like to see we haven't seen Jinder Mahal in a program with anybody but Randy Orton. And like that, I got so burnt out on that by the time that we got to the Punjabi prison match that I was just so sick of Jinder Mahal as champion. But now that we're done with that program and we can hit refresh and move on to the next thing, I almost want to give him like at least another month worth of build up with somebody else. But I don't know that it's going to be any different. I think it's just going to be the same thing that he's been doing. His promo style is going to be the exact same thing, just rinse and repeat. That being said, I don't think that they're going to give him a chance to
has
do
Nakamura
it.
lost a singles match?
On the main roster?
Yes, Corbin.
He did lose to Corbin in
Yeah,
a singles match?
I believe
Not by
so.
DQ?
I think it was on SmackDown. Like,
I believe so. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'm going with Shinsuke Nakamura.
A new champ.
Oh,
Are you kidding me? I wore the shirt and everything, Travis.
They're really high on Nakamura. Also, there's an unwritten rule in wrestling. If you have a special entrance, a la, Aleister Black last night having Code Orange and Incendiary do the entrance together, you're winning your match. And I will tell you right now, if you think for 3 seconds that Captain Violin isn't coming to
Drew McIntyre had all those
SummerSlam,
bagpipes. He won.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, if you have a fancy entrance, guess what? You're
Well,
going over.
We don't know if he's going to have a fancy
But Triple H has
violinist.
had like 3.
Okay, well, every entrance of his,
He loses all those.
Yeah, he's the
He's like 1 and 2.
He's the exception of the rule. If your name is not Triple H and you're getting a over the top entrance with a band or a violin player or a bagpipe,
And I'm pretty sure he has nothing to do.
a car full of
the
gangsters.
Violin player has nothing to do today. So
yeah, he's already in New York. They've already been doing like videos.
they've
of
been
him
following
playing
around.
So
We got a Nakamura.
Yeah,
What do you got, Robert? I'm interested.
and this,
I'm gonna go gender
Don't hand me
because can you get a 3 or 4 or 5 month program out of Nakamura and Mahal?
you could have them trade the belt back and forth at least going into Survivor Series.
gender. I don't like the belts getting traded.
Same.
I want a guy to have a belt for a couple months and then have a legitimate contender beat him.
Yeah. Prove why you deserve that title. Why do you have it on you? And why did the company put it on you?
I think there's a couple programs you can do with Nakamura, and basically, are you asking like, can we fill time with Shinsuke Nakamura as champion between now and
You
Mania?
can still get a
Yeah.
rematch program.
He could win it at Survivor Series, and it would be billed to AJ and Nakamura.
At Mania?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I like that too.
AJ wins the Rumble. Nakamura versus AJ Styles.
At WrestleMania.
Dog,
main
y'all are in
Main
2037
event.
right now.
event. No, it's legit.
Y'all living in 2017. Actually, technically 2018.
Here's what happens on the show all the time. I let Corey talk me into his like fantasy bookings. I'm like,
I love to
dude,
talk him
that's-
into things that I'm not going to pick.
dude, that
I'm
sounds
like, well, what
so
about
good.
this? And he's like,
This
"That's
is why
the
I was
point."
excited and why I'm excited to always come here.
Dude, that's so good. Yeah, I like that too. Damn it.
That would be great.
Sean,
Gender.
in one word or less. I'm kidding. I love you. Kind of.
I touched on this earlier. I will say that I think this should have been the spot where Nakamura wins the title and you send Corbin out to cash in.
And lose.
I think you put him over just because he did lose. He lost to Nakamura, I think by DQ, but lost to Nakamura last pay-per-view. It made sense. And if you just wasted this cash in just so you could give me Corbin Cena, then that was a waste. This one's really hard. I want to say Nakamura. I'm going to go with Nakamura. Although, I wouldn't be surprised if Jinder retains, but I'm going to go with Nakamura.
Let me sell this to you, boys.
Oh, here we go.
Gender's winning
Oh, no.
for 3 reasons.
Maharaja.
For 3 reasons. Most important
Sing
reason.
1, sing 2.
No.
Golly.
6 reasons, then. There are 6 reasons.
6 reasons.
Reason number 1, I'm wearing the Gender shirt today.
Number 1.
Number 1. That's enough, actually. But number 2, Nakamura dropped John Cena on his head, and Vince was pissed.
Okay.
Okay? The other thing, you know who loves Jinder Mahal? Vince McMahon loves Jinder Mahal. He loves him.
Yeah.
Look at him. He's a big, sweaty man.
Yeah.
He's
I
a
have it
mega heel.
I have it on good
Tons of
authority that
heat.
Vince McMahon does love big sweaty dudes.
Not only that,
Jinder
is-
wins.
You think about it. McMahon and officials gave him a timeline. You got this amount of time to drop weight,
And
work on yourself.
he proved he could do it.
He did it in astounding
Super
time.
fast.
Yeah, super fast.
He was out of shape when he came back. Or
Right.
right before.
He dropped what 32 pounds,
Something like that.
32 pounds.
And he got ripped. He changed his diet. He got serious about working out.
2
eating
months
right.
ahead of plan accordingly. So I'm like,
And Vince lets him talk about whatever he wants. Go out there and cut a promo. I'll give you a couple pointers,
and
but you
he's
do whatever you
making
want.
money for India.
This is true.
I think him being champion is better than Nakamura as far as sales go. There's way more people in India than there are in Japan. Maybe not way more,
Yeah,
but
no,
there are more.
He's right.
It's
India
the
is
second biggest country in the world.
It's
if
the
I'm
most
not
populous.
mistaken.
Well, which one has more people?
India.
Start talking about
It goes China, India, United States, if I'm not
Yeah,
mistaken.
yeah, you're right. Japan's got to be up there.
They're
though,
up
man.
there.
They
They're in the
got,
top maybe 5.
per square inch. They have a lot of people
That's true.
because it's a very not
Tall.
large-
It's a tall country.
It's a very tall country, not a very large country though.
Main event time.
Oh God, let's get. It's time, boys. It is time for the brass tacks.
Boom. Boom.
Dun, dun, dun.
All right, we got Lesnar versus Joe versus Strowman.
Versus Joe. Joe,
2
you're in
Samoan
this?
Joes. 3 Joes.
3 Samoan Joes. Joe
3
Kuchar
guys
is
named Joe.
Not Samoan. Let me take my belt off here.
Joe
since we're not
Kuchar
talking
is
about
going
our
over.
fair champion Jinder. All right, so fatal 4-way here. So you do not have to be pinned to become or to lose your championship if you're Brock Lesnar. Brock has said that he will leave the WWE with Paul Heyman if he loses this match.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, he's booked to show up tomorrow night on Raw and be at the No Mercy pay-per-view. So either he's lying about that or Lesnar's winning this match. What are your thoughts, Travis?
I am still trying to get over the fact that we're getting this tasty morsel of a match.
They've done a great job.
They've done a fantastic job.
All these guys are
like they've
top of the card.
they've made Samoa Joe look like an actual legit contender, and I think his match with Lesnar at Great Balls of Fire only helped solidify that.
Oh yeah.
So you're not even flinching at the fact that Samoa Joe is involved in this match. Roman Reigns makes a lot of sense, and Braun Strowman needs to be in this title picture. This one could go wide open in any direction.
Any four guys could win potentially.
Hence how a fatal four-way works. Yes, thank you.
Literally any four.
So I'm excited. I'm not ready to do my pick yet. Come back to me.
Here's my thinking of this, and it's gonna take a second. By heart, I want Samoa Joe to win.
I agree.
He's not gonna win though.
He's my number 2 pick.
He's the number 2 pick. It wouldn't make sense to put the belt on Strowman right now. Why? In this environment, it just doesn't make sense.
His character right now is good.
You would want him to beat out Lesnar by himself.
Yeah.
And that would be the by all. He beat.
I can see Joe and Lesnar being the 2 final guys that's how the end of the match, because Strowman and Roman are going to be somewhere else.
I think Reigns goes out majority of this match. Just keeps getting put out. He's the one that takes the pinfall.
He's safe to take the fall.
He's safe to take the
Fans
fall.
will be happy that he's the one that took the fall.
Yes. Lesnar over. Why? You would want Strowman, a match to build with Lesnar, and Strowman beat him.
Maybe Strowman does the damage to Roman and Lesnar capitalizes, and Strowman's like, what the F, bro?
Yep.
I like it. Rumor mill, there's pictures online. The Undertaker flying to New York City this weekend. Do you think he is going to play a part in this match at all?
No. Okay, so I saw that, and I saw everybody like freaking out that Mark Calloway decided to get on a jet plane.
There's a lot of reasons for him to go to New York.
Literally, he just probably wants to go and watch the show from backstage and be with his friends and his company and stuff like that.
Well, it's also been rumored that he's going to take part in creative, which is genius.
Which is fantastic. It's a great idea. Yeah. So if he does get involved, awesome, cool.
General manager of 205.
Which I think it's not awesome.
But at the same time, what's the point?
I think it's a terrible idea. I think it's a terrible idea to have him involved in any capacity. I think literally WrestleMania should be the last time.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you'd also have to. Well, what purpose does this serve?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. So I don't actually mean awesome, but what I'm saying is if he gets involved, whatever. If not, can we just drop the speculation that him being on a plane is like, oh my god, he's gonna be in the main event? Right. No,
he could be doing something for 2K, maybe recording something for that.
Yes, it could be
some
literally
sort of advertising.
anything.
It is an entire weekend where, you got Takeover, you got SummerSlam, you have Raw, and you have SmackDown all taking place in the same city. So a lot of fans. So maybe he's doing meet and greet stuff.
Yeah,
could be a whole slew of things.
Yeah,
I wouldn't put it out of the realm of possibility that maybe he does show up for some reason. Hopefully he's retired. I think he should be done. But I can see him maybe coming back for a program.
Maybe on Raw.
With Roman.
Maybe on Raw he just comes back and maybe they're bringing him back to be Roman's manager just to get him over. Like maybe if we handcuff him to
I like you, boy.
It could be that he just cost Roman the match.
Can we just bring back Biker Taker for one last run?
I would love that.
That'd be fantastic. With the caveat of saying,
keep rolling.
We have to have Limp Bizkit as a
live
theme. Yes, every week.
They're not doing anything else.
They're really not doing a lot right now. So you're saying
Lesnar. I got a Lesnar.
Lesnar.
I'm gonna go Lesnar just because I just think I want to see Strowman with the IC belt first before you put the world, but just because I want to see how he can translate. Look, you all shake your head.
I think he'll be too dominant for that.
I think so too, but at the same time, everybody's like, oh, well, they put these belts on these guys that it's too soon. He's kind of in that same caveat, whether you want to admit it or not.
I can see it being too soon.
I just give him some more time. Roman Reigns, I don't want to see him with the belt unless you reunite the Shield, and that way at least it makes sense to me. Samoa Joe will always be my sentimental pick because I like Samoa Joe. I just don't think I think they look at all these other guys, and even though he puts on good matches with all these guys, I think they look at a Strowman, a Lesnar, a Roman Reigns, and like, he's good, but he's not that level yet. And I feel that's the way they look at Joe.
Roman's winning that belt at WrestleMania.
Yeah. Follow me, guys.
Come with me.
You'll see. Come with me. Come with me down this road real quick. You guys know that I am a big fan of fortune favoring the bold.
Okay.
I think they have done a fantastic job with all four of these guys over the past year. Lesnar looks like your untouchable, absolute destroyer of a champion who has like this cushy schedule that comes out and just beats ass when he needs to. Joe has looked fantastic. I think Roman has done a really good job of kind of like staying in it, but also kind of putting himself in a position to where he looks like an underdog. But your man walking out with the Universal Championship.
Before you say that, who's the most over fan favorite in this match?
Favorite? Strowman.
Which is crazy to think about.
So that's why I say your man walking out with the Universal Championship tonight, Joe. I'm not finished with you. Is Braun freaking Strowman. I think pull the trigger, dude. He's over like Rover.
I don't think he needs the belt to be over like
Pull the
Rover.
trigger. And then that sets up. So if Lesnar does leave for whatever reason, then you have that power that Lesnar had. Have him go over Lesnar. Have him pin Lesnar in the match.
And then he comes out and talks crap about Lesnar on Monday, and then Lesnar comes out, and there's his reason not to leave? Or
so then when you want to do Roman Reigns versus some unstoppable obstacle that he hasn't been able to overcome, it's not Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. It's Strowman.
He's beat Strowman.
Yes, but
he's never beaten Lesnar.
Build this feud out to be like the blood feud. That's the one you want headlining WrestleMania for Raw. Make that the feud. I would put money down right now to see that match at Raw.
I would put money down
Mania.
that
At Mania,
Lesnar versus Roman is going to be the main event of WrestleMania next year.
I'm going with my heart here, man. I love Braun Strowman. I think he's over like Rover. I think putting the belt on him gives him that much more credibility and makes him look like the next undestroyable monster.
do we agree that Reigns is getting the pinfall? Taking it.
Yes.
If you give it to Strowman, I think you need Strowman to beat Lesnar.
To pin Lesnar. So that kind of puts a chink in my armor. But if it's anybody but, yeah, I agree. I think Roman, because you're putting Roman in that position to be like, yes, he's the fourth man in that equation, but he's also the
But you
underdog.
also don't want to make Strowman, if you're not going to give Strowman the belt, you don't want him coming off looking weak either.
Right. So.
Well, that does it, folks.
Yeah. So, yeah. We have
A super
a good
sized
episode.
episode.
We have a lot of, it's a super, well, we knew it was going to be. It's freaking SummerSlam, my guy. So, yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. You guys, make sure you guys check out the YouTube channel. We just put up the footage from NOW Uprising 12. Fantastic show. We had a great time calling it.
Yeah, they got really good.
Yeah, it's really good. So
Check it out.
Yeah, make sure you guys hit our YouTube channel for that. Next week we have Victor Andrews coming onto the show. Worked for ROH, has done stuff with NXT as well. Most notably, recently getting murdered by Lars Sullivan. But super excited, Robert. I know you know him fairly well.
I mean, we talked a little bit. We were on the same show at Sanctuary.
Yeah.
And we were just talking.
I want to go there. We need to check out.
Well,
the show
we'll
at the
talk. We'll talk
Sanctuary.
about that after we go off the air.
Yeah.
There's some cool stuff going on with that.
He's a good dude. Humble. Yeah. He's a great worker.
That's awesome.
He's somebody good to listen to.
Yeah. So we'll definitely. I'm super excited to get him on next week. So that'll be next week's episode.
We got some other big news.
What's the
No
other?
specifics, but we are partnering with a local establishment.
A local bevy establishment.
Yes.
A drinking establishment, if you
Yes.
will, for those 21
So,
and over.
If you are in the Toledo area, we will be hosting Monday Night Raw at the Beer Stoop coming up in
Solid.
September.
Yes.
So more details to come, but we will be hosting Monday Night Raw
You
there.
can come hang out with me, Corey. I'm sure the rest of the ASL crew and some of the NOW crew will be out there to throw back a couple cold ones, a couple Steve Weisers, and watch
our
Monday
fair
Night
champion Strowman.
Braun Strowman walking around with the belt.
finished.
So,
Yeah.
And then
So-
you got Uprising 13.
Uprising 13. So that is coming up August 26th.
Yep.
Yes.
And I will be there at the Rossford Community Rec Center. We will be there as well.
Who else is going to be there? The Monster Abyss?
The Monster Abyss will be there making his NOW debut.
Super excited about that.
We got 7 huge matches.
We have Both the members of the Natural Aces taking on
Both members of IndyCar Mafia.
Yep. So
Dre Jacobs, Jack Price, and
Alex Weir.
the
Co-main
fantastic-
Triple
event.
threat.
Alex Weir making his return to NOW.
Yep.
I'm a fan of Alex Weir.
We are.
We have Sadie Vanderkamp versus Haley Shadows.
Ooh, that'll be
So
a good one.
women's action.
Excellent.
Citywide champion Mavis. What's next for him? We find out.
Okay. I'm into it.
And the contract signing between
You and-
myself and Dante the Black Angel.
I hope Dante knows what he's getting himself into.
No.
He has no idea. He's going to get his freaking head kicked in.
I just went to Murder Cult last night, and, it was
just
it was a good battle.
a tasty morsel of what Dante's got coming to him after everything he's put NOW through. That jerk.
So a big month coming up here.
Yes.
A lot of stuff happening.
Yes. ASL is busy. NOW is busy. We're firing on all 8 cylinders, boys. Before we get out of here, we got to take it back to the preview special for what was the last show? It was Battleground.
Oh, you have this.
I didn't. Okay, so I'm going to pull back the curtain.
Wow. You didn't do it?
I
Or
didn't actually write it because I haven't had a lot of time. But what I did is I found the most absurd wrestling fanfic I could get my hands on. This one is actually titled Control. I'll give you the brief rundown here. It's a little tawdry, guys. I'm not gonna lie. So if the kids are listening, you might want to put them to bed. This is a bit rough here.
Oh God.
But basically, the whole thing is it's gonna Lana, Roman Reigns, some backstage stuff going on. I'm only gonna read probably about like a
30 seconds?
a couple seconds here, and then we're gonna get out of here because I don't want to get too into this. But Joe, you want to cue me up a little bit here?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.
This is real?
We got to set the mood. You want to?
Someone wrote this?
Somebody actually took time to write this. You're gonna get the
That's a
mood.
scary thought.
Get a little red going on here.
Oh,
Yeah, here we go. Hit the music, Joe. Ravishing, cherry red lips smirked slyly at the lively Ottawa crowd as they booed her and her client, the Bulgarian brute, Rusev, who's still next to her. I'm reading this as it's written, by the way. She held a microphone in her hands, bringing it up to her lips as another smile tugged at her lips. Roman Reigns, just like the impotent leaders of America and Canada, all style and no substance, she spoke in her thick Russian accent. Tonight your inferiority will be exposed. She paused briefly before continuing. Tonight, Mr. Reigns. The man's name seemed to flow from her tongue with a malicious intent, but there was something almost sensual in the way she pronounced it. Rusev will crush. As the last word powered from her voice, with intimidation, the truth reigns blared through the arena. The juggernaut descended the staircase, his wet, Samoan tresses swinging back and forth as he focused on walking to the ring. Joe, you can start fading us out at any minute here. The ravishing Russian Lana looked very unimpressed as the powerhouse entered the squared circle. Roman stepped through the ropes, a microphone of his own in his hand, and his gray eyes drifted over Lana's shapely figure. He stood only a few feet away from her and Rusev,